Speaking of another planet, America, and God bless America, and we are racing towards the elections. Good friend Nicholas Wright, leading campaign manager, political analyst and opinion pollster who's based in Sydney. He's led campaigns in the US, Europe, Britain, Australia and here in New Zealand. So I thought we'd check in again with Nick, who's been on the show before, and see how the race in the American elections are going. Nick, good afternoon.
Hey, Leah, how are you?
I'm good. Very quickly before we jump into this, are you enjoying the Olympics? Have you been watching?
Well, as you can probably tell from my accent, I was born British, so we were raised to despise athletic achievement. So not really. But I'm living in Australia now, so there's non-stop wall-to-wall chat of swimming, which I find fascinating.
Too. Yeah. All right, let's get into the elections, and let's start with the latest polling. Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris is truly, it seems, making a close race and has now built a 51 to 48% lead over former Prez Donald Trump. This is according to the latest NPR PBS News Marist poll. What do you make of that so far out?
Yeah, it's we're getting closer and closer now. There's only 95 days to go, and the Democrats are really in unfamiliar territory. They're unified, positive, energized, and in front, as you say, for the first time.
So let's look at her running mate. It's a Minnesota governor. Is it Tim Walz? Walz? I gather we say it. Walz.
Yes, take this Walz.
Take this Walz. She's chosen, I see, he's been described as a plain speaker from the US heartland. Who is this geezer?
Well, the conventional wisdom by, all those clever kind of in-the-know, smug pollster types like me.
Like you.
Felt she needed it was going to be a Josh Shapiro because she needed to win Pennsylvania. So I don't know whether this is a smart pick. I was talking before we came on air to some Republican friends who feel like this could end up being a win for them, but it's a confident pick because as you know, he's governor of Minnesota, and Minnesota is not a swing state. Harris is already in front by 8 points over there. So why she picked him? Well, he's an ex-serviceman, a football coach. He's spent 20 years as a geography teacher, raised in Nebraska on a farm. So if you can think of the most sort of rural, Midwestern, cuddly white guy and kind of extrapolate that by a factor of 10, you've got Tim Walz.
So I read that Kamala hopes his dad jokes would win over the rural voters who are yet undecided about Trump. Did dad jokes ever feature in any campaigns you ran, Nick?
The kind of thing that usually sends a campaign manager reaching for the bottle. But
exactly,
yeah. If you've never heard of this guy, by the way, then that's something you've got in common with 72% of Americans, right? So there is a race to define him, and yes, there'll be dad jokes, there'll be kind of rural, folksy, Midwestern stories, but that's the key for Kamala, right? Because she's, like it or not, she's a woman of color from highly liberal San Francisco. This is a guy that she hopes is going to be able to talk to Midwestern, rural, and yes, middle-aged white guys.
Right. So that you've kind of answered maybe my next question was how important it is to get your running mate correct. I gather then because he's so different from her, is that the importance of it? You try and get someone that you, no matter how much you try, you're just not going to win over a certain part of your voting audience.
Yeah, I mean, Donald Trump famously said a couple of days ago that it doesn't really matter who your Veep pick is because his has not gone down very well, as you've probably noticed. But I would just point out that you've got you've gone from Obama, who had Biden as his Veep, and then Biden, who had Harris as his Veep. So what usually happens is the Veep pick, if they win, will end up running for president. So it does matter, and I think back on the governor of Pennsylvania thing, I think that the calculation that she's made is, look, Josh Shapiro is very popular and he's still going to be campaigning for me anyway. What the campaign needs to do is now start making inroads in some of those Midwestern states. And so she's gone for somebody who can speak the language of the American heartland, if you like.